I don't understand, guys. Everyone was saying that Hazard Primordial Malzeno was quite like a difficult fight, and I'm struggling to understand. I'm just stood here. I'm not even playing the game, and he can't seem to kill me. I don't understand. It seems quite easy to me, if I'm completely honest. Yes, immortality. Hello, my fellow hunters. It's a bittersweet time, isn't it? A bonus update means a new twist on my favorite signature build that I just adore. But it also means it's the last twist, because it's the last update, at least until we learn ever new ways of the art of the unkillable in eventually Monster Hunter 6. But let's not look to the future just yet, because right now, God damn, does Primordial Malzeno kick up Immortal just a notch. Because now we can weave in Blood Awakening, and I know what you're thinking. You might be like, well, that's not an offensive skill, as you apparently turn into Mickey Mouse real quick. And yes, you are correct, but Primordial Malzeno armor in of itself is perfect for immortality, because all we care about in an immortal build is the raw amount of skills we can cram in, and having like more 4 slots than we know what to do with has meant that we can never cram more in. The Blood Awakening on top just means that we can kill monsters faster because we're getting damage for doing the healing that we would want to be doing anyway while hunting immortally. So it really is quite the match. And I mean, you're seeing already as I go through this Hazard Primordial just how silly this all turns out to be. I'm not taking damage, I'm not dying, I'm just killing him, and I'm not stopping killing him until he's dead. 14 minutes, can I just say, 14 minutes in an immortal set to beat Hazard Primordial. I mean, that's not bad, is it not? It's honestly one of the funnest ways to hunt I've had so far. And do you want to know the chief reason? Because now the Immortal set has gotten so good with Primordial as the base armor that we can have every single defensive skill in the game and still have room left over for attack, weakness exploit, and critical boost. Which means, yes, we no longer even have to choose between defensive and offensive skills while being immortal. So we can just hit things hard and never cut. This is a glorious day, and praise be to our new Elder Dragon friend for making it so. I should add, there is actually one defensive skill we don't have, and that is Heaven Sent, as we can no longer get it because it's tied to the Amatsu armor, and we no longer have the Amatsu armor, which does mean we are missing that every now and then resistance to one hit that would otherwise knock us down, but it is a small price to pay for the upgrade we're getting everywhere else. We've essentially swapped that for a ton more damage and a ton more healing. That ton more healing coming from the fact that we no longer use our old reliable plus 50 defense greatsword. It is sad to retire it, but it is replaced by the Primordial Malzeno greatsword. Not only does the extra, again, 3-4 slots work wonders here, it does bonus healing with our Blood Rite, which is right up our alley, and does a lot more for us than the 50 defense does when we're reaching such high defense numbers anyway that we start to run into diminishing returns. You want to augment it up like this, full affinity with a bit of attack left over, and the Rampage decoration for Immortal is the new growth. I say new, last title update growth, as over 20 minutes it will give you the most armor and indeed most attack of any Rampage decoration we could choose here. So, you've obviously been seeing it, I've been hinting at it. what exactly is the armor that we're working with. 4 pieces, Primordial, Malzeno, and Velcana Waste to complement it. Talisman-wise, I have 4 Dragon Heart and 3 Recovery Up with 3 1 slots, which is like a +7 for Immortal, which is really good, but it's one you can easily achieve too, because Cyclists can target Dragon Heart, and it doesn't take long to get an acceptable talisman to run with this. We do want Dragon Heart because not only is it a little bit more damage, but it means whenever we drop to 80%, which admittedly isn't actually that often anymore, we get those +50 resistances, which is max resistances, which is a huge amount of you can't kill me-ness. Then we want to actually decorate this up, but before I do, I really need to kind of have this moment here. I need to show you the skill list that this build ends up with. That this magnificent, beautiful build lets you have. And it doesn't hurt that this armor is gorgeous. I mean, this is what Immortal looks like now. And it's perfect. Anyway, 7 defense boost, of course, just for that, you know, defense boost. The Defiance, again, more defense, usefulness. Dragonheart, as I said, for those 50 resist, if we ever do drop, and a bit more damage, we are tanking in Rage Slash. The attack, the crit, and the weakness exploit, and the focus, if you choose to use this on Greatsword, is a lovely bump to your kill times without giving up any defensive skills. Divine Blessing, self-explanatory, recovery up, and speed, so our healing is pouring in. Stun, so we don't get stunned in our Rage Slash and Adamant Slash, so you can take this out if you don't like it on your weapon. Kushala, so we're constantly healing even at full health. Blood Rite, so we are getting 10% of our damage dealt to health and activating Awakening. Furious, for an extra chunk of defense and resist when not in Dragonheart. Embolden for even more defense. New Blood Awakening for a little bit more pep to our attack for healing. Partbreaker left over. Intrepid Heart for even more tankiness and pops of damage. And as you can see, is it not ludicrous? It's so many skills! All defensive skills maxed! Except Heaven Sent. And even a smattering of offense too.
The prophecy is true.
You sit at 1,111 defense in this armor with these skills. And you know why? Because this build is #1! Because of all the ones. Anyway, if you are playing this with Greatsword, of course, as I said, you do want Rage Slash, you do want Adamant Slash, so you can just hyper armor, even more damage reduction, and then just return damage anyway, because obviously being immortal isn't really helpful if you're just spending all your time getting knocked around on the ground, even though you're not dying. So let's actually put our decorations in with a mind for our Curious Crafting, which I will quickly go over. The aim of Curious Crafting, then, is twofold. You want to get all 3 ranks of Furious, and ideally you want to get 2 decoration slots saving rolls. So, for example, I've taken away my Frostcraft 4 Furious on the waist. That's very nice. Gained just a Divine Blessing bonus on the helmet. That saves a Divine Blessing slot, which I'm using for Weakness Exploit. Then we have our chest, where Burst becomes Furious. Then we have our gloves, where we just got a free Dragon Height, which means a 4 slot isn't needed to be used for the 5th Dragon Heart, which is what's letting me get the final 2 ranks of attack to meet that 4 minimum for the percent. And then the boots, 1 part breaker for 1 Furious, and job is a good un, so that's your kind of general guidelines. Alright then, without further ado, you are seeing it all decorated up, everything in place, with my Divine Blessing and Dragonheart Curious rolls in mind. If you don't replace 2 attack with a Dragonheart and replace a Weakness Exploit with a Divine Blessing. So, that's kind of that. It really is hard to imagine a better Immortal set than this, even taking Monster Hunter 6 into account. Obviously, there might be new armor skills, new monsters with new ways to be hard to cart, but this is really special, and Sunbreak has done a lot for this playstyle I started so long ago in base world, inspired by the Valhazak set bonus. It really does make me happy to see it grow up in such a way that we can now be maximum immortal while having so many ranks of the good solid offensive skills along with it, which means you don't even really need to choose between this and damage anymore because we have it all in one place, and it makes hunts so buttery smooth, as you've been seeing with Mr. Hazard in the background. And you might also have been seeing then the usual cats, which of course you want to have two of, both healing cats, both set up exactly like mine are here, but I've also brought two healing humans, because it's the last hurrah. I figured why not finally go fully immortal in all the ways Sunbreak lets us. You want to bring the two hunting horns, and they will give you even more healing pouring in, which just really kind of tips this over the edge. You don't have to, of course, but I thought it would be fun to actually give that a go for once, since, as I said, this just is it. The main difference then between this and the version last time is we have slightly less defense, but we have more healing, and we have way more damage, and that is definitely a worthy upgrade. Alright then guys, I hope you have enjoyed Sunbreak's Immortal journey, and I can't wait to start the next one whenever that does begin. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.